That's here, sir. Should we get started now?
Oh. Okay, madam. You can start.
Sure. So a very good evening to all of you. And thank you so much for taking out time on a weekday post office hours for this very important session. On behalf of Women in Mining India, a very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us today. Women from the Indian mining fraternity have come together to establish this industry body, which is run by young women professionals under the mentorship of senior industry veterans. I'm Ruchika Jha, the co-founder of Women in Mining India, and I welcome you on behalf of the entire team. WIM India joins together to partner and support global WIM groups across 6 continents and 38 countries, collaborating closely with Women in Mining UK during our establishment phase. This gives us access to a very strong and active network of 500 plus globally inspirational women in mining. Our span of influence includes women and men associated with end-to-end value chain and ecosystem of mining. That includes mining companies, refining companies, researchers, analysts, suppliers, entrepreneurs, consultants, students, retired subject matter experts, and so on. The vision of WIM India is to see Indian women leading change and creating a meaningful impact in the mining associated industries. Our major objective is to participate as an industry body towards promoting employment, retention, participation, empowerment, and upward mobility of women so that they can contribute progressively to the mining industry. To do this, we are leveraging active networking and mentorship to achieve our objectives as we collaborate with corporates, associations, institutes, and autonomous bodies already working in this field. As you all know, March 23 is being celebrated worldwide as International Women's Month, and this week as the International Women's Week. It is a continuous endeavor to celebrate unstoppable women in this industry. We strongly support United Nations theme of digital, technology, and innovation for gender equality. I'm not sure if many of you know or not that a recent study shows that that men are still 21% more likely to be online compared to women. The figure is as high as 52% in low-income countries, which is a very shocking statistic. Providing universal access to digital resources opens up many opportunities to challenge gender discrimination and empower women and girls around the world. By working together, we can create a more equal, equitable, and prosperous world for all of us as we strive for a gender equal world, free from any kind of stereotype, discrimination, and bias. This is what we are trying to achieve here. Mining Engineers Association of India, MEIA, has been a very strong supporter of diversity in mining. In collaboration with MEIA, a series of online panel discussions with the industry stalwarts and thought leaders on this theme has been organized, starting with today's session, which is session 1, DigitALL, Technology and Innovation in Mining, followed by 2 other sessions on digital sustainability in mining and innovation and startup ecosystem for mining during the rest of the month. I now invite Mr. Narsaya, Secretary General, Mining Engineers Association of India and former Director of Mine Safety, DGMS. Before that, I'll quickly start with the profile of Mr. Narsaya. Mr. Narsaya completed his engineering in mining from Osmania University in the year 1983 and joined SCCL as a GET. During his tenure in SCCL as under manager and assistant manager, he has worked in Degree 2 gassy coal mines where he gained experience in dealing with coal mine fires and noxious and inflammable gases and dealt with many fire incidents effectively. He has also experience of dealing with weak strata conditions of coal mines of Adilabad district. After completing a successful span of 8.5 years, he joined Directorate General of Mine Safety, MOL Government of India in the year 1991 as Deputy Director of Mine Safety. He has worked in DGMS for 28 years and rose up to Director of Mine Safety. During his service in DGMS as a regulator, he has brought many improvements in the working conditions of coal mines and oil mines for better safety of workpersons. He has rich experience in longwall technology and gallery blasting technology of coal mines. As a regulator member of fire, incidents have been dealt with effectively, saving life and property of the coal mines. Effective implementation of rules and regulations has been ensured in the open cast coal and non-coal mines as well. After superannuation from DGMS, he has joined as Secretary General, Mining Engineers Association of India, headquartered in Hyderabad in January 2020. So we are very pleased to have you with us, sir. And over to you now for your opening remarks. Thank you.
Good evening to all uh, in the panel members, namely Natasha ji, AGM Technology Business, Tata Steel Mining, um, Helen Gibson ji, General Manager, Underground Soft Rock Komatsu Mining, Anand Shankar ji, Regional Sales Leader, Honeywell, Sushma Nainwad ji, Head India Sales, Digital Mining Technology, Sandvik Mining, Sakshi Gupta ji, Lead Digital Automation Production Drilling, SK Mines, Hindustan Zinc Limited, Ruchika ji, Co-founder, Women in Mining. It's a pleasure to associate with you on this occasion of uh, International Women's Day, organizing this DigitALL technology innovation webinar. Uh, it's historically the mining has been, as you said in your opening remark, it has been only represented by the men. For the main reason is that mostly the mineral reserves are located in either in the forest or in a remote area, where reaching the place itself has been very tough. And even after reaching, then the staying there and working has, especially in Indian mining conditions. As the time progressed, definitely there has been a technological improvement, and then the participation of women has been into the picture, especially in the official cadre, mining engineering. Of course, we have seen the women's participation as a workforce in most of the coal mines, where large women employed in manganese mines for segregation of the minerals, in limestone mines, in other small metal mines. So the employment of women has been there, but as a workforce, not in the capacity of the officials. So the in the capacity, even in coal mines way back in 2000, when I was in mine safety department, Coal India has introduced some drillers and bulldozer operators uh, for as a woman to operate the machinery. However, the therefore number has not been increased. Only few were there, and they continue to be like that. With the latest improvement in technology, say I definitely congratulates for taking lead role. This especially Tata Mining and Hindustan making a lot of technological improvement where the woman can feel safe to work. So the creation has been provided by increasing the technology and innovation, so that we can see of late for the last 5 years, we have seen a lot of women mining engineers has been working in the mining industry. And even they have passed the first class Mindspace certificate. I hope one of the panelists, Sakshi Gupta, is also holder of the first class Mindspace certificate. I remember. Then way back in 2009, 10, I remember that there was only one girl who has passed from NIT Suratkal, Sarita Dange. She has passed first class in restricted, and she has been working in the Bellary iron ore mines. When she has joined in the field, so she used to come to us for seeking the guidance for clearing the first class master's certificate. And she has cleared in the year 2010. And thereafter, she worked as a manager. As far as my exposure is known, probably she is the first class mines major certificate holder in the mining industry, restricted. So this has been the case. However, with the rapid increase in the technology, we could find this employment of women in the below ground also. This legislation has been brought in uh, 3 years back, where the women can also be employed in the below ground mines. Otherwise, the employment of women has been restricted in the below ground mines in Indian conditions. So now that these definitely these uh, Women's Day has been celebrated to uh, to improve the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women from all around the world, and also focusing to call on the accelerating gender parity and setting the goals for achieving these targets and events. And every year, we are organizing the talks and awareness campaigns to achieve the goal where the women representation is as equal as men. Uh, for for that, there's some advancement has been done. There's a lot to do. With that, there has to be a change in the perception in the industry, and women should feel safe. So this can be done. We have to educate a lot of women and train them and promote the diversity for including the women workforce. It also a lot of things to be done in the government and non-government agencies to infuse the women in the organization so that they are at all levels in the mining industry. And a starting has been made. I am sure that this will go in a long way, and we will see in the years to come a lot of representation as good as men, in especially in the capacity of officials will be there in the mining industry. And I congratulate this Ruchka ji for taking up this uh, webinar and involving so many stalwarts to express their views. We always support such activities where these women representation should be as good as uh, men. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Ananda. I wish this
Thank you.
seminar go all success.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts. And I'm pretty sure that all of our vision to see more women in the leadership cadre in mining, we will achieve that together when the entire ecosystem works toward it. So thank you so much for your support also throughout and being a partner in this program. Um, so coming to our topic for the day, digital. We all know that mining is one of the oldest industries on planet Earth, and it has always been under scrutiny of being a difficult, complex, conventional, manual, unsafe, and environmentally polluting industry. But it is about time that the world and the larger communities know that globally mining is getting transformed as one of the most progressive industries driven by higher standards of safety, digitization, automation, operational excellence, sustainability, and innovation. Mining, as you all would agree, is at an inflection point. Energy transition that we've been talking about is essentially nothing but metals transition. And the entire mining ecosystem is taking concrete measures towards contributing to climate change and sustainability. Even with respect to diversity representation, representation has improved as Mr. Narsaya has also spoken about that 3 years back when the regulation changed, we are now seeing more and more women in certain organizations, and others are also trying to accelerate the journey. But we all agree that there is still a long way to go. With this endeavor to create awareness about this disruption in mining, we introduce you to today's topic, digital technology and innovation in mining. We are honored to have been joined by our very eminent panelists this evening who have accomplished significant milestones in their respective fields, especially and particularly around digital mining. So now I take the opportunity to introduce our eminent panelists, starting with Natasha Jha. Natasha is an AGM in Tata Steel Mining and leading technology and business excellence there. She has over 23 years of diverse experience in the field of mining and ferroalloys, marketing and sales, supply chain, steel making, and research and development. Currently, she is leading the digital and technology transformation in Tata Steel Mining, and she brings with her deep expertise of planning, strategy, risk management, improvement programs, customer process re-engineering, and new product development. She's been continuously driving transformation through cultural change and deployment of TQM and theory of constraints. Natasha is an alumnus of BIT Sindri and a gold medalist from XLRI Jamshedpur, born in Ranchi, Jharkhand. She's passionate about excellence and pioneering values of Tata for sustainable development. Very warm welcome to you, Natasha. Uh, Next, we have, and we are honored to have, Sushma Nanavat. Sushma is an associate vice president in Sandvik Mining and a valued equipment and digital technology and a valued business line manager for 3 business divisions. She's leading sales team for underground equipment and digital technology. Big machines have always been an attraction and a driving force for Sushma, who has operated herself all the equipment firsthand that Sandvik offers to its mining customers. She has more than 15 years of diverse experience in mining, construction, and manufacturing organizations. Prior to Sandvik, she has worked in leadership roles in industry pioneers like Cummins, Caterpillar, Daimler, ABB, and Tata Group. Sushma has deep-rooted expertise in marketing, sales, supply chain, project management, customer service, and new product launches. She's been a key enabler of Make in India localization strategy in mining and has been closely working with key government authorities and institutions. She's a certified supply chain professional, an MBA from NITI Mumbai, and holds a degree in engineering from NIT Hamirpur. She's fond of members and has a great love for traveling, which has greatly helped her in managing cross-cultural teams. So very warm welcome to you, Sushma. Next we have is Helen. Helen is the general manager for Komatsu Mining's soft rock business in India, based out of Kolkata. She's been with Komatsu since 2011 and has started her career with the company in human resources with specialism in learning and development. Since 2015, she changed her career direction and worked in various countries, Poland, Russia, India, and UK, leading product training, smart services, and customer account management before taking on her current role in May 2022. In July 2022, she graduated from Camborne School of Mines with a master's in mining degree, a master's in mining engineering, and more specifically from 2016 to 18, Helen was Smart Services Manager for Eurasia, working with customers to improve safety, performance, and operational efficiency through connected machines and data-driven decision making. We are so glad to have you here with us, Helen, and really looking forward to hearing from you. Uh, we have a very young leader with us today, Sakshi Gupta. Um, she did a mining engineering from CTAE Udaipur and is proud to be from the very first batch of female mining engineers from Rajasthan Mining Universities. She joined Vedanta as a GET in 2019 and since then has completed 2 Six Sigma projects, worked in the planning department, and then switched to operations and production department as a production drilling engineer. Since last 1 year, she's been leading the digital and automation part of the department and breaking global targets in automation drilling. Sakshi recently also released a technical paper on digital innovation in mining industry and recently qualified restricted as well as unrestricted first-class mines manager examination. Thank you for joining us, Sakshi, and we are very excited to hear from you. And next on the panel, we have a very important member, Anand Shankar from Honeywell Connected. Anand has close to 18 years of experience in sales, business development, and solution consulting across enterprise and mid-sized organizations in India. He has experience of handling customers in manufacturing space across process and discrete industries and has assisted organizations in meeting their goals through digital transformation, through technology solutions, and has handled complex environments across IT and operational technology space. Anand is currently leading the Honeywell software sales for entire India and has supported various manufacturing organizations like Adani, Vedanta, Indian Oil in their digital transformation journey. So very excited to be interacting with all of you all and very warm welcome. We'll now start with the panel discussion. So my first question um, is to you, Helen. Um, you worked in global mining environments and witnessed first-hand transformation in mining operations. Could you throw some light on how digital technology has contributed to a smarter, safer, sustainable, and more progressive mining atmosphere worldwide? Over to you, Helen.
So, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Ruchika, for inviting me to participate. So, firstly, I just want to qualify that my experience is in underground mining. So, that word transformation that you use is quite interesting because transformation can be incremental change or it can be sometimes leaps forward. So, Mr. Nasaya, who would know quite well about the safety requirements related to underground coal and as it relates to hardware for underground mining, especially in coal. But I'll just give a few examples of how technology is progressing us forward in underground. For many years, we've been connecting remotely to our continuous miners and other equipment that's operating underground. We've been connecting remotely. We take equipment data and then we visualize it through our analytics platform so that we can check the health of the equipment, make sure that it's running efficiently, anticipating issues before they happen. And we can also see how the equipment is being operated to assist customers with opportunities for operational improvements and improving utilisation and efficiency. So we're quite excited that we'll have our first Joy continuous miners connected in India this year. So we're very pleased that that's happening. And then really to give a simple example is that with continuous miners, these are operated through remote control. So the operator's near the machine, but a little bit further back from the machine. And the most up-to-date generation of remotes that we have operating around the world, they actually have a screen on the remote so that the operator has a two-way visual feedback to actually see what's happening on the machine. So that might seem like something basic to all of us that are using iPhones and smartphones to actually have a screen. But in underground coal or in underground mining, to have a screen that gives you the opportunity to change parameters or perform functions on the machine that mean that you don't have to physically go up to the machine is quite a step forward. Another thing that we're seeing is certainly in industrial minerals. We had a customer in the UK that installed Wi-Fi in their underground potash mine last year. And it's immediately transformed the way that they communicate between the surface and underground. And that makes a difference to operational efficiency, but also safety in terms of where people are in relation to equipment. So when we talk about safety, one of the goals is to remove people away from machines or from hazardous areas. And we're allowing technology to fill that gap. So it's definitely, digital technology is definitely contributing from an underground point of view.
Thank you, Helen. Very interesting developments indeed. And even I have myself witnessed some changes there. I mean, long time back, we used to underground mines and connectivity used to be an issue. And now I can see that, sometimes when I'm interacting with some people in Hindustan Zinc, they've been joining a video conference from the ground under. So it's really amazing to see these changes. Yes. So thank you, Helen. My next question is to Natasha. Natasha, how is digital transformation and automation changing the entire landscape of mining operations in Tata Steel? And how is it particularly affecting women's opportunities in the industry?
Hi, good evening all, and thanks Ruchika, you and your team for arranging this webinar and discussing this very important subject. I also thank Mr. Narsaya for appreciating, the work of Tata Steel in this area. Good evening to all my co-panelists and the people who are attending. When you talk about women in mining, I say that nowadays with more and more acceptance is you can feel there, right? Women are being welcomed to the jobs which they have never done before. So they are supporting rules and policies by government organizations are uh, drafting and designing such policies and rules that support the women in the organization. However, miles to go. But I feel digitalization and automation is really enabling more opportunity for women on all the industries, including mining. So in Tata Steel mining, Ruchika, we have women working in core mining operations, mine planning, geology, electrical maintenance, heading fire and security services, supply chain, environment management, HR, driving improvement programs, central help desk support, doing community activities, etc., etc. So, as Mr. Nasaya was mentioning, earlier it was a low-skill job where women were participating much. Now we find that much skilled and more educated, fields and opportunities are there for women to come forward. Similarly, we had that program which was mentioned here that women, especially in Tata Steel, we have given this opportunity to the local community women to come forward and become the HEMM operators. We assign mentors to them, and they are doing it quite successfully. So when we talk about the digital transformation, I frame it in 4 ways. How Tata Steel and Tata Steel Mining is doing it. So the first thing is the changing the workspace requirement. So with digitalization and technology advancement, it is reducing the physical demands of mining work, making it more accessible to women. For example, automated machinery, autonomous vehicles, digital twin concept, and remote operations are reducing the need for heavy physical labor, which has traditionally been a barrier to women's participation in mining. Now there are activities you can operate from a distance, reducing the need for women to be physically present on site. Additionally, digital technologies enable more flexible work arrangements with all sensorizations, digital technologies enable more jobs which require data analysis and understanding the subject with much more depth. So these are the space things which have been created by this advancement. Such things like advanced 3D modeling. The goods nowadays there are softwares available with geostatistical techniques. Decisions can be taken sitting on the desk about where to mine and how to optimize exploration activities. So this is the first aspect that digitalization is changing the workspace requirement altogether. Second is increasing efficiencies. So, with automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, these are, making the operations more efficient. The machines, automated machines can work 24/7, reducing downtime and increasing productivity. Digital technologies, it is optimizing the whole supply chain and logistics. Recently, we have launched a program called eLog. It is a complete digital transformation of logistics within the mining boundary, and all the requirements of documents, tracking vehicle, reducing that turnaround time to half. All these are the benefits which we are fetching right now with this system which has been implemented. Another example is, the replacement of total surveys, total station survey by drone survey. So these are the methods by which the efficiency is being increased, and we are taking the opportunity to deploy more and more women in this area. Third aspect is safer operations. So we all know that mining is a hazardous industry, but this automation is helping to avoid the risk associated with this human involvement. And it can operate in, the automated mining equipment can operate in hazardous environments, reducing the need for women to be exposed to dangerous conditions. So, for example, in Tata Steel mining, let me tell you, we have a movement surveying radar, which has been installed for live slope monitoring of pit slopes. And this slope stability radar works on the principle of interferometry. Interferometry refers to all measurement methods in which a phase shift of the received signal is evaluated, and thus helps in failure prediction. So such kind of things, when you build in your work environment, it is safer, and you can demand in a way to bring more and more women in the workspace. The fourth and last one, as I say, there are four aspects. The fourth one is the sustainable mining operations. So with this digital technologies, we all know that there are continuous monitoring available. You can take actions immediately. Any deviations you can measure. So there are opportunities. I think women find very good working in the area of sustainability. How to reduce the the impact on environment, how to minimize waste, how to reduce the energy consumption. All these are the areas which are loved by women especially. So I feel that these are the ways Tata Steel mining is also creating various space for women to come forward, which is being held by digital transformation. Hope I answered you, Ruchika.
Very well, Natasha. I think you articulated it really well, bucketizing it into four different cadres, and really amazed to hear the depth of adoption of technology across various horizons in Tata Steel mining. And I'm honestly just wondering, that some of our young girls who are tuned in today to listen to us really understand the extent of automation that mining is bringing, and it's no more a manual, old, conventional kind of an industry. It's a very fairly progressive and operationally advanced industry to work in. So thank you so much for this, Natasha.
Thank you.
My next question is to Sakshi. Sakshi, can you share some specific examples of how technology and automation are used for operational excellence and safety in the mines at Hindustan Zinc?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me in this webinar. It's a kind of opportunity for me at this stage of my career. So thank you very much. And hello, everyone present over here. So talking about safety in mining, mining has always thought to be a black hole. Like a person who is going inside a mine, like particularly if I talk about an underground mine. So person who is going inside a mine, you cannot track the person. I'm talking about the past, like you cannot track the person, what he's doing, how he's feeling. But now mining is no more a black hole. You can track the person, you can talk to the person, you can convey your message to the person. A person in an underground mine can call anybody from surface and talk to him, tell him how he's feeling, or he's feeling uneasy or whatever. So that is one of the major changes that has brought in the mining industry, this technology of communication. So in mines, in Hindustan Zinc mines, we have around 150 plus cameras located at various places in underground mine for monitoring each and every operation happening in underground, and also at all the critical places such as pump chambers, substations, loading points, etc. So that is one of the technology we are having. Second one, we are having around 34 kilometers of Wi-Fi network all over the mine, which helps us to connect to the surface control room. So my location can be tracked from the control room anytime, like my live location. And not only me, all the equipments and all the machineries can also be tracked from the control room, where they are operating and what are their operating parameters, what is the health of the machine, etc. So this has brought a tremendous change in the performance in mining industry, and also for the safety of people and the health of machinery. We have certain digital innovations in Hindustan Zinc. I would like to talk about, like we are mining for the production to contribute to the country's GDP. So for production, we have a weighbridge, like the loaded trucks which are coming from the mine portal passes on from the weighbridge. Weighbridge gives the exact tonnage, exact weight of the truck, loaded truck, and also the efficiency numbers such as the fill factor, the swell factor, the truck factor, etc. of the truck. So that has eliminated the manual work of analyzing and data entry. This we have also implemented this project in underground, like whatever we are doing in underground dumping, that we had to previously we had to like count the number of trips in underground dumping manually. Now we are installing a load scanner in underground also, which will give us the number of trips, the tonnage, and everything in system. Second, we cannot operate in any mine without services. Like we cannot do development or production without the services. Services include dewatering, power supply, drilling water supply, and ventilation, the foremost important thing. So we have automated all these things also in services, like we have automated ventilation fans. All the ventilation fans on surface can be operated from control room. The parameters of the fan, the quantity it is throwing, the pressure difference, everything can be monitored from the control room. Similarly, from for pump stations, the level of water in some can be monitored from control room. The pump can be switched on and off from the control room, and the health parameters of the pump, which is the quantity of water it is flowing, how much level it is, all that can also be monitored from the control room. For substations, the voltage, the power supply, the current supply and everything is visible in the control room. The substation also can be turned on and off from the control room. Also, it has helped in easy identification of the faults. Like if I have any fault in the any power cable, so I don't have to go on the field and start from the scratch to identify that fault. I can simply go in control room, I can see where the fault is and directly go on that point and rectify it. So that has helped in easy identification of the faults and early rectification also. Fourth one, I was talking about drilling water line. So the water which is coming from the tank to the machine, we have installed pressure gauges at certain locations, and the pressure can be seen and monitored from the control room. So I can see the water consumption, the pressure difference, pressure fall, if in case there is any leakage. So I can see directly from the control room. I don't have to go in the field and search for it for all the line. So this is about services. Apart from services, we have certain substations can be done. Also, we have in tele-remote thing, we also have like operations and production drilling, which I am seeing. We can run the machine in automation and also from the surface, which is keeping the person away from the hazardous environment of the mine, wherever it is. So this is helping a lot in a safe and sustainable mining. Also, recently we have introduced BEVs, battery equipped vehicles in underground. So in future, we'll be turning from diesel equipped vehicles to battery equipped vehicles. Thank you.
That's great, Sakshi. I think it's really awesome to hear the kind of advancements both in Tata Steel and Hindustan Zinc. And recently we saw the video in on Hindustan Zinc LinkedIn page on account of International Women's Day, where it feels like all the women, you Yogeshwari, Ambika, you all are just operating the mines. So it was amazing to see the finesse and the confidence with which young leaders like you are leading this initiative. And I think another thing that must be credited to Hindustan Zinc and probably even other mining companies is the kind of openness they have to accepting innovative solutions from their business partners. That is one thing that I have personally witnessed in Hindustan Zinc. And talking about business partners, my next question is to Sushma from Sandvik. I think Sandvik has been a very important business partner to all of the mining companies worldwide. So Sushma, what are some of the emerging future trends, technologies or innovations in the mining that you feel will have a greatest impact on promoting gender equality and sustainability, and why? And what are the other benefits that these technologies bring in? And when you're answering, my humble request to you will be to talk about additional points incremental to what Natasha and Sakshi have already shared here. Over to you, Sushma.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I was just about to. So, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's my pleasure to be part of such a prestigious panel discussion and the topic, which is really close to my heart as well. So, women in mining and the digitalization transformation. So, thank you so much for this, Ruchika. And I was just about to say this that most of the points has been already covered. They talked about the technology and the so I'm really proud that whatever point Sakshi has just spoke, we are the business partner with them for providing those solutions. We are talking about Waybridge integration. So we are talking about any solution like tele-remote. So we are the one who is helping the miners to have that solution in place and providing them a sustainable and safer world. So that's the benefit we are bringing. Other than that, I just wanted to, in the next decades, if we'll talk about 2 decades or 3 decades of the mining, mainly the 4 themes is going to come in. One is definitely automation, where we are talking about all the autonomous operation. So the beauty of automation operation is just not automated loading and hauling without the manpower. It is working underground. It is about, we have very advanced traffic management system where if the people is around the vehicle, they will stop, definitely, that's a safety. But if we have the recognition in the technology, if there is a vehicle which is called ambulance is going, the priority automatically, all the production vehicle will stop and the ambulance will be given by priority to go into the surface. So that's kind of the technology we are developing. So that's called the traffic management. That's very unique, and that's first time in worldwide we are introducing in Hindustan Zinc as a solution. So this is the kind of automine operations we are bringing in. Second foremost pillar is the digitalization. So when we are talking about digitalization, it is not about providing the solution to making the mine more digital. It is more about the providing the solution, the connectivity of all the machines can speak to each other, all the people can speak to machines, as well as all the data can come on ground, and that can be the analysis of the data can be done, and it can use to enhance the productivity or providing the more efficient results to the miners. Now, I'll relate these two basic things, the autonomous operation and digital, in the diversity, to bringing the more and more diversity, because this not require, traditionally we consider mining as a muscular kind of operation. We always think that that's require a lot of effort, the physical effort. That's why it is a men's job. But when we talk about these solution, it is automatically shifting the ground from men to more and more knowledgeable world, where the female who are coming with the more knowledge can execute the entire operation sitting in the surface. So that's where we have chance to increase the diversity in these places. All these solution is contributing in the more safer and sustainable world. So automatically, because as I just gave the example of ambulance, that's nothing but giving the sustainability or taking care of the EHS part, environmental health safety of the each and every employee. And the third most important pillar is the electrification. So electrification is coming in a big way, and that's the future. Green technology or green mine is the future, because what we are contributing as a miner back to the society is very, very important. If I talk about the technology available here in mining, in especially the underground mining, we are having the highest capacity trucks and loaders available with the Sandvik, which is nowhere in the world is available. And that helps of maintaining the productivity, and that helps with the zero emissions in the market. So if that is happening, then that solution will come out as a green technology and provide the sustainability to the environment. So that's the very, very strong pillar, and that will help us to retain the environment and in the long term. And the last is the advanced analytical based system. So why this is very important, because we can create the data with a digital solution. We can take out a lot of things. The machine can speak and all. But the very important things, how we are analyzing it and how we are using it. So that is foremost important part. So due to digitalization of processes, advance in the IoT or the real-time data capturing or the mining operation have a lot of data available. So we had to analyze it. We have to use it in the transformation of the mining. And that we are doing it in case of all the solution what we are providing worldwide. So it is very effective because it helps in the setting up the fast processes for the miner. It helps the making the effective decision from the business point of view. And if you see, the entire capex or opex cost will automatically go down if they are using this entire reports in a very, very effective way. So this predictive models or whatever solution is coming out with all this technology put together will definitely help to bringing more diversity, because that platform is open and providing a more sustainable world. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushma. Very impressive. And as I note from your profile that whichever machines and equipments you are talking about, you know firsthand how to handle them and what are the features and benefits of all of those. So really hats off to you. You're truly an inspiration, I believe, for the rest of the community aspiring to make their career in the mining industry.
Thank you.
My next question is to Anand. Been patiently waiting, hearing so many great examples of digitization already. I'm just wondering, my panelists should not feel that there's nothing to talk about anymore. So, anyways, but I'm sure you've heard now that there are almost smart minds present in India as well. We have Indian examples along with global examples. But tell me, Anand, these are probably the best practices or industry stalwarts that we are talking about first. But for other small companies or other mining entities who are wanting to embark on this journey of getting to a stage of a smart mine, what are the steps? How does the journey look like?
So, good evening, Ruchika. Thanks to you and the MEI team for giving me an opportunity. Good evening to my co-panelists and, of course, the audience. Um, um, just to pick from what Sakshi, Helen, Natasha, everyone mentioned, I think great examples of, I would say, application of, say, digital technologies in mining. At least I represent an industry where there are a lot of women, right? So a lot of these technologies have been built by women and they deploy it as well. So unlike a hardcore mine, I am part of technology team where a lot of women were already contributing and they continue to do so. So typically, when we talk about any, I would say, digital transformation or transition to smart mines, there are, I would say, 5 steps to that, right? And typically, the examples that was mentioned, you would find these organizations or the particular mines in, say, one of the parts of the journey, right? The first thing is to really control and optimize, right? So the first thing that most of the miners do and is to put control systems, and then they start looking at optimizing that. That's the next step. And the second part to it is how can they actually collect data, and using that data, how can they make it more intelligent and predictive. The next thing is how can I then integrate everything, work towards remote support, remote ops, and then slowly transition towards autonomous. So all the examples, like for example, Sakshi spoke about operating underground mines through, say, the control rooms, which is quite far away. This is a great example of leveraging communication to, I would say, operate a plant remotely. Then Helen spoke about your underground equipments and stuff like that, right? So this is again, you're leveraging data, information that comes from these equipments to actually provide predictive analytics. And a lot of customers are, even within zinc, for example, if we look at Hindustan Zinc, not every mine would be at the same maturity level, right? Probably SK Mines is much more at compared to Rampur, Agucha, stuff like that. And similarly, you compare that to a Coal India or Manganese India or even Tata Steel, different customers or different mines will be at a different maturity levels. And that depends upon, I would say, 3 things, right? Where are they getting more money from? Or there are certain, I would say, safety related issues. So all the digital interventions, or I would say technologies that get deployed by these customers is to solve these kind of problems. Now, the next step, which actually the world is going towards, is thanks to sustainability. Now, there is more and more seriousness towards this, right? Earlier, it used to solve a point problem, but now people are looking at it holistically. How can I get more information? How can I be more sustainable in some of my technologies? How can I ensure my waste management is good? How can I ensure I can look at improving upon, I would say, the tailing and other stuff, right? So now customers are going towards that, and that's the first true step towards autonomous, right? But eventually, what I would say some of the global customers and even Indian customers are looking at is how can I actually operate out of a remote control room, right? I don't want many people out there. I have all expertise centrally, and I'm able to manage maximum amount of mines. I get all my expertise, and so that's where the world is going towards. And 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 the examples that we heard today is actually, I would say, already people are on the journey, and eventually we are going to see more and more such customers take this journey and become, I would say, more and more autonomous in terms of their operations.
Sure. Thanks, Anand. My next question is to Helen again. Um, in what ways do you think that the mining industry can attract and retain more women in its workforce going forward? And when I'm saying mines, I mean not just very big mines, but also medium-sized mines and more remotely located mines, etc. And then what would be the role that digital transformation and automation will play in this effort?
Okay, so I'll probably lean a little bit on my, I guess, my first career in human resources around attracting. But I think that we've got to be part of long-term change. So I think it's really exciting on the underground side to hear what's happening in metal mines. I certainly think that coal is a little bit further away from a technology point of view, just really purely because of the safety and the DGMS aspects. But I think we've talked about already that we need to generally change the perception of mining and work together to shift it from being seen as a dirty and probably old-fashioned industry to an industry that's not only exciting but essential to our daily lives. I think we all acknowledge that you know, our world around us today wouldn't exist without mining. So I think that mining globally is seen as an unpopular career choice. We're definitely seeing fewer numbers of mining engineers certainly coming through the UK. It's still quite vibrant in India. But I think that the digitization and technology really helps to change the perception of the industry and, you know, demonstrating that career opportunities that didn't exist previously now do exist. So I think we've got a responsibility to work with schools, colleges, with mining engineering associations, and highlight the types of careers that you can have in mining. You know, you don't have to go underground or work physically work at the mine site to work in the mining industry. You know, and Rishika, you talked about unstoppable women in our industry. You know, I'm certainly surrounded by unstoppable women in my team in India. You know, we've got women working in engineering, supply chain, marketing, service, sales, you know, and these are mostly desk jobs today. They can require mine site visits, but that's not every day. I do think whenever I visit underground mine sites, I try and connect and find the women that are working there at those mine sites and just understand what challenges they face, because I think that a lot of the infrastructure is built around catering for men. So washroom facilities, changing facilities, it's just not been conceived that women need to be catered for. And even, you know, basic things like having the right size of PPE. So we just need to kind of get the mindset changed and start thinking a little bit differently. I've talked about being present in schools and colleges and just showing girls that you can have careers in mining. So I know that this session is being recorded. I think we should be sharing it with schools and colleges and allowing them to watch that, because some of the stuff that we're talking about is just really, you know, it's fascinating, and just I'm sure that all children would find it interesting, not just girls. So I think that as well within our own organisations, we need to be acutely aware of unconscious bias when it comes to employing women in mining. Too often we assume that employees or new employees are going to be men. So I hear a lot of he and when he starts and when the new guy's here. You know, so I try and challenge that language internally to make sure that we're using gender neutral language, like to say when the new person starts. And I think it's just, you know, it's just the way that we've been raised. In mining, we've just been used to being surrounded by men. But when we do employ a diverse workforce, it's not just about ticking a box to say that we've employed females. It's about how do we actually give women a voice in our businesses. How do we make sure that they're heard in meetings and involved in making decisions? And I also think that we need HR policies that really support women to have careers in mining. So making sure that there's some flexibility around working from home, but also that there's, you know, around maternity policies and, you know, job career opportunities when people do return from work. So then, and then just sort of finally, I think that sometimes we don't like this label, but I think women that are working in the industry, we need to be prepared to be role models. Not everybody's comfortable with doing that. I think generally we get our heads down and we just try to get on with our day-to-day jobs. But I do think we need to create visibility of the great women that we've got working in mining, and just be willing to raise our hands to be role models for others and just lead the way. So I think there's so many things that we can do. So it's not one single thing. I think there's many layers to it. And I think it's just a collective effort that we need to come together on.
No, absolutely, Helen, and I'm sure we at Women in Mining India will also, unleash all of those gems already working in the industry and present them to the world. And I really like your idea of creating awareness within schoolgirls and college grads, because probably they are not as much aware about mining as a career option for women. So that's a great suggestion, and we will definitely work on it. We are running a little short on time, so still I would request everyone to please bear with us. It's such an interesting discussion. My next question is to Sakshi. Sakshi, you've been probably one of the youngest leaders in the drilling operations, which is otherwise considered very unconventional for women. So really, you've actually broken, that glass ceiling. You've shattered it. Do you believe that automation in drilling will actually lead to more women joining the industry? Do you really believe that?
Yeah, I would like to say that women have already started to join the mining field on supervision level, and also on a field level in open cast mines. But in underground mine, it's still like a vision, a future for women in mining. So I'd like to share my own example, like the machines which I'm looking after, production drilling rigs. I'm trained to operate the machines. I have actually operated the machine on field in manual mode and in automation mode. So if I can do it, there's nothing difficult about it. Anyone can do it. So that is an open opportunity for women to prove themselves, to prove their potential, to prove their skills on field. So that is another scope and opportunity for women in mining field. And also now, since we have tele-remote operations also, so the operator or the person does not have to stay in a mine for longer hours. He can operate the machine, he or she can operate the machine from surface for as much hours as he or she wants in a very comfortable room or environment. So that will probably help more women to come forward. And also one more innovation that we have at our mine is Wi-Fi blasting. We have a particular slot of blasting that is during shift end. So the blaster needs to stay on the blasting point to take a particular blast. So what we have done, we have connected the blaster with the help of Wi-Fi on surface. So now he can complete his charging and come on surface and take the blast from surface. That is improving the efficiency of the person, the blaster that is, and also the productive hours of the person. So in that also women can be involved in the coming future.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you. Anand, my other question is for you. We've spoken about production, drilling, safety, sustainability. But coming to the beneficiation part of it, what role do you think these digital technologies can play in recovery improvement of minor metals, precious metals, or we spoke about sustainability in terms of that waste to wealth creation or processing of tailings? Any examples would you like to state?
So there are a lot of live examples in industry where people are leveraging upon automation technologies to help them with, say, more improved recovery and stuff like that. One such, I would say, very mature technology is what we call as advanced process control. Very commonly used in, say, upstream mining, where people are leveraging it, whether it's for the froth flotation process or more in the SAG mill, the grinding piece of it. And this is now a mature one. So most of the leading miners across the globe, they would have, that includes players like Vedanta, Hindalco in India. Then you have globally Codelcos of the world, Norils, and multiple such players. They have deployed such technologies to actually get more from, say, their processes. So what this does is this actually helps improve recovery, your throughput by somewhere between 1 to 4%. And not only that, people have also started leveraging it for a lot of their, I would say, input optimization as well. Like, for example, for one of the miners where they were having a calciner kind of an operation and they were using fuel oil, this kind of technology actually helped them reduce the fuel oil usage as well. So directly impacting, say, the carbon generation, right? And therefore, directly impacting sustainability as well. So again, as I mentioned, very commonly used technology, which now most of the customers, I would say, miners across the globe are now using it. Now they're also combining it with some machine learning. So now there is a concept called a smart APC for a lot of other non-linear problems. They are using machine learning models on top of it, so which sometimes acts as a soft sensor, because you might have an old mine where you might be missing certain instrumentation. So you can actually leverage machine learning models to give you certain act as a smart sensor, which again helps improve upon this advanced process control. So a technology which will continue to grow and evolve, and something that would eventually become a must for everyone. So today we see a penetration of about 30-35%. Globally in other industries, it's more than 60-70% of the process has got this advanced process control. But in mining, we are slowly seeing people doing that, and this is something wherein you're not dependent on a technology partner, right? We have quite a few customers globally who have their own team, because this involves a bit of domain, your understanding. You create certain models, so the in-house team itself creates those models and solves the problem. So again, a very I would say interesting technology to actually improve upon all the problem areas that you mentioned.
Thank you, Anand. Very interesting. Sushma, you've you've been trying to sell Sandvik machine and equipments and solutions per se. So I want to ask you, what are some of the barriers, risks, and challenges that you see to digitization of mines or retarding the adoption of these technologies when you're dealing with Indian mining companies, and how do you think they can be addressed?
Yes, actually, this is a very basic things we always face whenever we are going to any customers, because India still have to catch up a lot when it comes to the technology, or the mining still have to Indian specific mines, they still have to work on many things. Maybe zinc, because it's a private miner, is little bit more advanced, but when it comes to the government mines like the copper mines or the uranium mines, they still have to catch up on the technology side a lot. So first of all, the frequency of the technology provider and the miner who are buying the technology has to match. So first we need to have the common vision. First we need to understand that what we are looking forward together to get it from implementing this technology. So any solution or any technology we are planning to implement cannot give the immediate solution or immediate benefit or the profitability to the company. It's a long journey. We had to start today, then maybe the benefit of the profitability will come after a certain period of time. There's a possibility the initial investment will be high, because some technology like the battery or where the fully autonomous operations will require the little bit more initial investment. But as you grow, you see the benefit. And foremost for India mining, safety is still not the topmost priority. If we talk about these technology, they provide the safety. That's the most important thing and foremost thing when we talk about the mining operation, because that's the most dangerous or most hazardous operation for the people, for the society. So we need to understand where and which where we want to implement the solution. So definitely, like second foremost important thing is the manpower, who is having the skilled or experienced manpower related to the technology, because that's very new in India, and miners is not having those manpower available who can understand the technology and implement it on the time and the right time, or the right solution can be implemented and executed well. The mine availability or mine infrastructure has to build up in that level that the execution of the solution is possible, and that is possible only when there is a skilled manpower or the human resources available. So those are the still also we have that lack of manpower availability at the India level. And we need to understand the automation is considered to be threat to the local jobs. People think if it is, autonomous operation is coming, then the operator will lose the job. We should not think in this direction. We need to understand the person will still operate the machine, maybe not at the underground. It will operate it from the surface. It will be more safer for the people who know how to operate the machine. They maybe need to, enhance their skills, which the training can be provided, but the mindset or the entire mindset has to be changed in entire ecosystem. So that's how we need to go. So those are the very, very basic things we are still struggling. So to take it to the next
So you
level,
mean to say so one is business priorities, and second is the potential skill and infrastructure gap. And I'm sure companies like Sandvik and Komatsu are not just trying to position their equipment, but also looking at providing some of this hand-holding
yes,
in
yes.
terms of training and infrastructure and so on to the mining company.
Yes, definitely. We are, whenever we are providing any new technology and solution, training is automatically part of it because they have to have understand the solution first, that what it is bringing in their platter when we are providing this.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the other thoughts that always crosses my mind when I used to consider a technology decision, when evaluating a technology in leadership positions was whether my data is secure or not, because most of the times, cloud storage of data is something that would really perturb and concern me. And while of course there's always a need of data driven decision making, but this comes across as to me as a very serious and genuine concern. So Anand, any thoughts on it? You faced this before?
So, any digital journey, before starting any digital journey or kind of stabilizing that, there are two things that I think all organizations are actually looking at very, very seriously. Is the technology architecture, right? Because as digital becomes inevitable, you can't avoid, right? Getting the data out of, say, your equipments, your processes, sending it to cloud or keeping it internally within your ecosystem. So the technology architecture, standardizing that is very, very important. So most of the organizations today, they have some standards, right? They follow that in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of isolating the process networks, isolating the business networks, stuff like that. So one thing is around standardization. The second thing is, of course, the governance as well, because most of the time, the security issue is not technology oriented. It's also people, or sometimes if you look at the statistics, more than 40-50% of the cyber attacks are probably because of phishing, someone clicking on a mail or someone putting an infected USB drive internally, right? So there is also a strong governance that's more and more important, right? So most of the customers today, they have taken help of consultants, of their partners, and they are actually putting this, because without this in place, you just can't grow, right? In terms of digital transformation, because that's inevitable. But once that is done, sky's the limit, because for you to leverage analytics, you'll have to go to cloud, or if it's not cloud, you want to leverage the internal infrastructure, you can do that. So today's technology support that. It's just that you need to have a standardized architecture and governance that helps you enable that. And which I think, compared to a lot of other global players, Indian customers are much ahead. So one thing I can share is there are a lot of other players who still keep their mine operations like they just treat it with, I would say, kid gloves. They keep it separate. While in Indian scenario, I think customers have embraced that, and I think we have made that jump. And from a cyber security perspective, we are slightly ahead, and we should. I hope that we continue that curve.
Thank you. Thank you. My last question is to you, Natasha. When you're evaluating a decision towards digitized mining operations, what are the factors that you basically consider? Do you consider life cycle benefit as one of the factors as well?
So, Ruchika, I would say, for your question, if there is a digital initiative, I would see in one is statutory requirement, another is, other requirements, another initiatives are non-statutory part. So once it is statutory related requirements, it has to be definitely implemented, and the path is different. So for other programs, all digital initiatives for say digital mining operations, we see as any other programs or initiatives, uh, because there is as a business, if I have to say, Sushma also talked about, Anand also said, there is a limited resource, and there are many more programs and many more priorities which run at the same time. So every initiative has to compete with others to see that which one is bringing more benefits to the organization, right? So there is a measurement which we say IRR, which is internal rate of return. So for any proposal, we evaluate this and we see. Definitely, when we talk about digital initiatives, and there is a transformation which is ongoing everywhere. There is an edge which it finds, especially in the fields of safety and sustainability. So if there are proposals which are very critical to ensure safety in the work field, and there are proposals which are very critical for sustainability point of view, it gets receives an edge of other proposals. Apart from it, if you say other initiatives, definitely we consider all the costs, including hardware, software, infrastructure, security, as you were mentioning, security requirement, maintenance, upgradation, as well as the cost of training employees to use new technologies. So all these costs are considered, and we balance it with the benefits, what it is bringing to efficiencies, explorations benefit, or otherwise the safety or sustainability benefit. One couple of things more which we see when we evaluate any such kind of initiatives is the compatibility with existing system. So if it is, we have running systems and processes, and how much this compatibility will cost or how much it is feasible, that's another part which is very much there in assessment. And the second thing is the risk, and especially socio-political risk associated with it is also one of the factor where the digital initiatives, any autonomous initiatives which we take, we do consider. And when you said about the life cycle benefit of digitalization, yes, definitely, because when we calculate IRR, it is a time value of money. So we see the what is the life cycle of the mining operation, or as far as whatever visibility we have of the mining operations, for that period we calculate this measurement. And this is the way all this type of investments are compared and decisions are taken.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Natasha. I think it was an amazing and a very, very insightful discussion. Fresh perspectives from all of you. And I believe it's a very promising future for digital in mining and also for women in mining. I now hand over to my colleague Poonam for questions if there are any, and the closing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruchika, and thank you so much for actively moderating this session. So now we open the floor to the audience. If anyone wants to open any conversation with our panelists, you're all free to initiate that. You can either raise your hand or unmute your mic and just pass on a question. Yes, Kulit, please. I can see you've raised a hand. Please put forward your question.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. First of all,
Kulit, we cannot hear you. Kulit, can everyone hear Kulit?
No, I think there's some network problem, but I saw Deepak raising his hand.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I attended the whole program and I am really impressed the way all the ladies have presented. And it was really a wonderful experience to listen to your experiences. And it's really good that in underground mining and open cast mining both, certain ladies like Sakshi, like Natasha ji and all, they have been doing a wonderful job. Now, I just want to, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to communicate one thing, that I am a National Council member of MEAI, Mining Engineers Association of India, and also the chairman of TDPC, that is the Training Development and Program Committee. And we have been conducting every month a lecture by some some renowned personality from the industry on technical lectures on every fourth Friday. And there is free for all, there is no charge, no fees. I will only request all of you to please join henceforth. It is on fourth Friday, 6:30 p.m. online. That is one. Second thing, we are conducting MPDP program, that is MEI Professional Development Program course, which is happening once in 3 months. Next one is due in the month of April. So I'll be sending that circular, and Mr. Nasaiya, of course, will be circulating one circular which is there for MTS this month. It will be happening on the 24th of March at 6:30 p.m. The topic will be application of SERPEC in surveying and mine planning and mineral exploration. So my request, all of you, please do join and encourage us. Thank you, and wonderful presentation once again. Of course, I could have added a little bit more, but then I know you are running short of time. I won't like to go into the more details, but I have been to Sweden and other places, about 18 countries I have visited, and whatever Sakshi ji and Natasha ji had mentioned about underground operation and other things, I have seen it happening way back in 1984 in Kiruna mine and LKAB mines and all that. So, and particularly what I think Sakshi was mentioning about supervision. I have seen the women mining engineers working on huge big drills in underground, Atlas Copco's drills. They used to be all alone on the machine, put their hand on the machine, do the drilling, and subsequently the blasting operation too. And any help required anytime, they will just call the maintenance crew, they will go there and help them out. So this has been wonderful, and I am so happy to see that women have now come forward, even in underground mining. Wonderful, congratulations to all of you. Thank you very much. Right.
Thank you so much, Deepak sir. Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you so much for sharing about your venture. And I hope the audience will definitely join. So, Gulit, would you like to put forward your question now? Gulit, I think you're still breaking, but I see that.
Maybe she can, Poonam, maybe she can just drop it in the chat box.
Yeah, can you just put write your question in the chat? And I see Mr. Kumar Mohan Singh Thakur. Do you want to speak? Like, hello? Do you want to put forward a question? Okay, so I think we have come to the end of this panel discussion. Hello?
Prerna has also raised it.
I,
Yeah.
Prerna?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I wanted to ask about MEAI. Like we have been discussing how we need to collaborate with educational institute to let the students know that mining, to change the perception of mining from early stage of students. So I would like to know how MEAI is approaching towards it, how they are collaborating or engaging with educational institutes. We can take some learnings from there, and we can also improve our engagements with prospective mining candidates, especially to the females. So my question is for Narsamaya.
Yeah, I got it. See, Prerna ji, see, MEI Mining Engineers Association is starting a student chapter in most of the educations and wherever these mining colleges are there. So it's an opportunity for the students to come together and form a chapter and assign a student chapter and associate with the Mining Engineers Association to have a latest knowledge and improve your skills and knowledge is what is happening and to come forward and to get more and more knowledge what's happening in the mining field across the India. So anything you can visit our website, you can ask us. We'll definitely help you if there's any problem.
So, sir, do you also engage with students in some forum or one-to-one communication?
No, I couldn't follow what you said.
Sir, I'm asking, do you also engage with students one-to-one or have some forum discussions with?
Yes. In actually, yeah. We are going to some colleges wherever possible, and they are associated with the chapters. Across India, we have 27 chapters. Say, so each chapter where that chapter regional is located, in that if there is in a mining college, that chapter will take care of that student chapter. Okay, whenever there are any seminars, webinars, so the students are associated. For example, in Hyderabad, whenever any seminar, any lecturers is happening, nearby colleges, Osmania University, Mallareddy Engineering College, and then other JBIT Engineering College, students are fully involved. They are given the web links to participate in this, whatever the activities of mining in its association there. Okay. So if there is any of such thing is there, you can definitely, we are here to help you out.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Prerna. Thank you so much, Narsaya sir. Okay, so I see that Kush has also raised his Kush has raised wants to put forward a question. Kush, you can proceed. Okay, so what I see from the chat is, so people have put forward a lot of questions, and I'm not sure that, our panelists will be able to answer all of these questions because we have the paucity of time, and also like some of these questions seem out of domain as well. I'm not sure whether our panelists might be aware of these stats or not.
So maybe
So if I
maybe
read
I'll
out,
just take an attempt, Poonam, to the question that Kush has
sure.
asked. Women representation in India in percentage with respect to China or world. Honestly, China, I'm not too updated, but one of the reports that was published by McKinsey the year 2021 did mention that globally, women represent anywhere in the range of about 8 to 13% of the mining sector workforce. So when we say workforce, it also includes contractor workforce, etc. So that is the global statistics that we've read in that report in 2 years back. Coming to India, honestly, I think we are making an attempt to do a database mapping and a study which actually is able to tell us what is that number exactly today. My hunch, again, no source, no calculation, but my hunch is in manufacturing, it is less than 2%, and mining, it should be worse, is what I feel. I hope that answers your question.
If you honestly say the workforce means, see, it has reduced because earlier in the olden days, lot of women used to be engaged for physical work, sorting out in the ores,
artisanal mining also.
Yeah. So now that has come mechanized, so the workforce has reduced. Okay.
Hello.
So only now it started picking up in the supervisor and manager category. So that's definitely a welcome trend.
For information, I am from Udaipur, and we have JSW, which have more than 8% of women candidates. We have Hindustan Zinc, and we have more than 3-4 companies which are progressively more than 8% or 9%. So I suppose that in the year to come, it may be there is a target of JSW to start a individual mine with the women's only. That is a welcome approach, I can say, and this is the latest from Udaipur.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Good.
Very pleased to hear this.
Yes, yes. Okay, so Ruchika ma'am, like, do we have the time to take any more questions, or should
No, I
we?
think we can. We've really
can end?
overshot, but it was very interesting. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So, first of all, thank you to Ruchika ma'am and the Women in Mining India team for actually, arranging this panel discussion at such a short notice and utilizing all of their resources and time. A big thank you to all of the panelists for agreeing to lend their time and voice and help us, successfully completing the first Women in Mining India ever event. And I would also like to thank our audience for having that much of patience to hear to a panelist for 1.5 hours. Apart from the theme, apart from the UN theme of DigitALL, we have touched on so many interesting topics, like the topic raised by Sushmita. I mean, the topic of whether AI will take up the local jobs. This is like the ongoing debate about ChatGPT as well. And another thing, Helen raised a very important point that we should be circulating the recording of this webinar in schools and colleges so that students can have an understanding of how exactly the mining ecosystem is. And Anand sir also raised some very valid points about cyber attacks. So the intent of this webinar was that specifically women should leverage this network. I mean, because we in the Women in Mining India team, we resonate with this fact that we can actually progress ahead in our careers if we have the right tools to leverage our industry, to leverage the entire knowledge base of our industry, and to leverage the expertise. Also, I mean, if I just give an example, if suppose somebody reaches out to Sakshi, I mean, regarding some innovative, like if suppose EDZIDL wants to come up with another digitization program in drilling. So, I mean, Sakshi should be empowered enough. She should have the right resources and she should know the right names like Honeywell and Sandvik, and she should be able to reach out to them, and people like Anand sir and Sushmita ma'am, they should be part of their network. She should have access to these names so that she can quickly find out solutions for the industry. And that's what we as Women in Mining in India are trying to create. We're trying to create a platform to create active network for women. And thank you all of you for supporting us and joining this webinar. And I hope you have a good weekend. And this has been the Holy Week. I hope everybody had a good time. And please, we will continue these panel discussions. We're coming up with a second panel discussion on sustainability. Please, we'll keep all of you posted. And if you find some time as per your convenience, please do join another panel discussions. And we will also reach out to a panelist for the feedback as well. So please take out some time and provide us your feedback so that we can improve as an organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Poonam. And I think thanks a lot to MEIA and Narsaiya sir for fully supporting us in this. Sir, any comments you would like to make? Otherwise, we'll close the session.
No, thank you, madam. Only my suggestion is that more and more education and awareness is to be brought in the women in the mining fields, so that it's not a just mining is not a just what it has been known. It's a different thing now.
It's a different thing now. That awareness is very important, sir, and we will work towards it together.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone, and good night. Yep.
Thank you very much, everyone.